Ready for expanding. So expanding, the point of expanding is again to simplify, but it's getting rid of the brackets. Okay, expand the brackets in each expression and then combine the like terms where possible. So the key here is to expand. Expanding, we say, is just multiplying in. Expanding is multiplying in. Whatever is outside the bracket has to be multiplied by whatever is inside the bracket. So 5 is multiplied by 4x. This takeaway is really important. It has to be the correct operation. And then 5 is multiplied by 7. So 5 4s are 20, x, take away 7 5s are 35. So we can't combine any like terms for this. It stays as 20x take away 35. Okay, this one we multiply in. First step is -3 multiplied by 9. Okay, this time it's plus. That's really important to be accurate. And we multiply in again to say -3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by y. Negative multiplied by a positive gives us negative. Two different signs gives us a negative answer. -18 plus, okay, -3 multiplied by 2 is -6y. Okay, so again they are not like terms, so we can't combine them anyway. You could have -18 take away 6y, but they're both the same mathematically. We've just followed the procedure of bringing down our operation and using the negative there. Okay, multiply in, we've got 4x multiplied by 8, or 4 times x times 8, like over here, same thing. This time it's a takeaway, 4x times 7y, multiplying in. So we say 8 4s are 32x, take away 7 4s are 28xy. Now again, they are not like terms. They both have x's, but they're not like terms because this also has a y. So we can't collect any of those as a final answer. They're just two terms. Okay, this is just a warm-up for factorising to find the highest common factor. So we could look at that and say it's 1 times 18, it's 2 times 9 for 18. Okay, for 24 it's 1 times 24, or 2 times 12, or 3 times 8 3s are 24, and sorry, over here is 3 times 6. So now this is just a warm-up for factorising that you realise, oh sorry, 4 times 6 is 24. So our highest common factor is actually 6. Okay, highest common factor is 6. This one, you could say 1 times 20, you could say 2 times 10, you could say 4 times 5. Okay, 1 times 45 works. 9 5s are 45. Okay, so we'll go with our 5 is the common factor. Now in this one, x is also a common feature. Okay, so the common factors, really, factors in this are our 5 from the digits, and the x's are also common. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so I listed my just numbers and I identified 5 as being high, and x is also part of the answer because the x sits in both. Alright, we can say 1 times 12, we can say 2 times 6, and 3 times 4 as our 12. And as our 16, 1 times 16, 2 times 8, and 4 times 4. So our digit is 4. Okay, we've got an A in both. We've got an A in both. This one has B squared and this one has a B. So we can just put a B. B squared means that there'd be a leftover B, but there is A's and B's in both. Okay, so 4AB is our answer, highest common factors there. So that's kind of warming you up to do your factorising, because in factorising, when we factorise, we have to find the highest common factor. When we factorise, we have to find the highest common factor. So we can look at 12 and say it's 6 times 2 and take away because of the takeaway initially, and then we can say 8 can also be 4 times 2 times m. Right, so our common factor is the 2, so they're crossed out, and I've been saying to students they become the leader. What is left over is 6 take away 4m, and that's the factorised version of that expression. Alright, this one we can say, we'll say 3 times 3 times n is how we would break down 9n, plus, let's say 3 times 8. So then we can recognise 3 is our common factor, becomes our leader, 3n is left over, plus 8 is left over. This can be 3 times 2 times a. Okay, take away 3 times 5 times a times b. So we can see 3 is common, so it's going to be the leader, but also our a. So that's our common factor there, just like these questions up here. We've found the common factor, but when we factorise, they come outside the brackets, and then we just list what is left over. The 2 is left over in that bracket, and the 5b is left over in that bracket. Okay, 18 and 12. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of extra work. You know, 18 can be 1 times 18. It can be 2 times 9. It can be 3 times 6. Okay, sometimes students benefit from writing some working off the side. 12 can be 1 times 12. It can be 2 times 6, and it can be 3 times 4. So the benefit of seeing that is that, yeah, they're both even numbers, so you automatically think of a 2 being the highest common factor. But when you list things out, we can see that the 3s are the better options. So 6 times 3 is 18 times C times D times E, plus, okay, this time I'm going to go my 3 times 4 times D times E times F. Okay, so 3s are common. D's are common, and E's are common. Then what you have left is 6C, 6C, sorry, 6C plus 4F. So ignore that bracket. Our answer is 3D, E, bracket 6C plus 4F. I'll do this question elsewhere in a minute. Let's work on this one. 24, so I can say 1 times 24. Alright, I can say 2 times 12. I can say 6 times 4. 6 4s are 24, and I can say 8 times 3. With 40, I can say it's 1 times 40, it's 2 times 20, it's 4 times 10. Okay, so we might go with our, oh no, and it's 8, sorry, 8 times 5 is 40. So now we can work with 8s. We'll work with these combinations. So I say 8 times 3 times x plus 8 times 5 is 40 times x times y. So now we can see our 8s are the similar or common feature, and so is 1x. So we say 8x sits outside because they're the common. In the brackets left we have 3x from our first set plus 5y from our second set. Okay, so factorising is really being able to identify the highest common factor, and then being conscious that letters can be, or variables can be, part of the common factor. Okay, I didn't do this one yet. 42x, let's do that one on the back. 42x, take away 30x squared. Alright, so 42, to me, I'll save a bit of time here, I can see it's 6 times 7 times x, and the reason I chose 6 times 7 is then for 30 it's going to be 6 times 5 times x times x. So 6 is part of our common factor, as is the x. Okay, then what's left is our 7, take away 5 and the other x over there. Alright, so on back of the sheet. Okay, I'll quickly do this question then. Pause. Write an expression for the following situations. Good practice for the test year 8s. The total cost in dollars of P pencils that cost 70 cents each. So I'm going to say cost equals C, because we're working with algebra, and the cost in dollars of pencils, so each pencil costs 70 cents each. It does say in dollars. Interesting. So we have to really change it to cost equals each pencil that we buy is worth 0.7, because that's dollars. Okay, that's cents turned to dollars, so our cost is going to say, I'd say 0.7p. Each pencil you buy is worth 70 cents each, or 0.7 of a dollar. Again, we're up to 12 minutes, so I'll press pause and keep recording.